Hello, this is Pete or Pension 1913. This is
Rob.
or Rob 1920. No, I'm just joking. Anyways, this is another Game of Thrones review, and we're doing episode 8, The Pointy End.
It's the one you stick them with.
That is the one that you stick them with. So we're going to quickly go over, the summary. So the episode starts, if you remember last episode, Ned got arrested.
Yep.
And so the Lannister men are killing the Starks all over the place.
Everyone.
And they're just murdering everybody.
They're just killing everybody.
So within this, we have Sansa walking with Septim Mordain. And she kind of hears the bloodshed, and she's like, Sansa, go to your room. And so Sansa goes to her room. And Septim Mordain is...
just walks towards guys with swords.
And she's
Like
pretty
that.
much going to die, is what we're getting at. And, so then we head to Syrio, who's giving Arya some training, some last-minute training, because they were actually supposed to leave King's Landing, if you remember correctly.
Oh, yeah, a couple of guys who got killed were backing up a cart to get ready to take off.
So they're leaving King's Landing, and Syrio is training Arya, and the King's Guard comes in and a couple of Lannister men, and they're like, Arya, you gotta come with us, your father has summoned you. And Syrio's like, why didn't he come himself, or why didn't he bring any Stark men?
Syrio's a smart guy.
He is. He's very smart. So they get very suspicious. Basically, they find out that they're just going to take Arya. So Syrio kind of gives her some time by fighting the Lannister men.
With a wooden sword.
Yeah, so she could run away. If he had a regular sword, he would have totally killed her.
It would have been nice. Yeah.
But he didn't, so we're going to chalk it up that he's dead. Because you never hear from him again.
We're assuming he died a terrible, terrible death.
Yeah. At least it was heroic, sort of.
Oh, it was honorable, yeah.
He was definitely defending,
a young girl. Look at that. Like, can you get more, chivalrous?
I don't think so.
Nope.
Unless you saved her from a burning room thing, too.
Maybe.
Or something.
Like a bunch of orphans.
Yeah. I can see that. A lot of orphans.
He did good, though.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah.
I love that scene. So then we have Arya running back to the stable that you were talking about, where they were getting everything ready. She was looking for her sword, needle. She grabs it. Some stupid stable boy's like, "Hey, you come with me, wolf girl." And she's like, "No," and she stabs him right in the chest.
Yeah, Arya fucking
stabs him with the pointy end. She totally listens to Jon.
Kill somebody.
Yeah, so she kills someone, and then she runs away.
She's my favorite 10-year-old murderess.
I know. I like her a lot too. I like when she murders. It's good stuff. So then we hit to King's Landing. Well, we're already in King's Landing, but we go to the prison where Ned's being held. And Varys is kind of talking with Ned about like what the aftermath of everything's going on. Like they took Sansa. They can't find Arya. Kind of bring him up to
speed on things.
Yeah, because
and therefore us.
Yeah, and he's kind of just telling them what's going on, and Ned's like, "Why didn't you do anything?" And he's like, "Well, I could.
Come on,
I don't have any armor. I don't have a weapon. It's like, what could one eunuch do?" And so Ned asks him, like, "Who are you really working for? What's your deal behind all this?" And he's like, "I'm working for the realm."
Which is an interesting answer.
Yeah, because he wants to see the greater good for everybody. He doesn't really give a shit who's on the throne.
Is that what you think?
I don't think so, but we're going to go with it for now. But
so I think Varys might want a certain greater good.
Yeah.
But not other.
Yeah, not the greater good that Ned was thinking about putting on the throne.
Perhaps not.
No. But, so, then we go to the wall, where they're bringing in the corpses.
They found some corpses.
They found 2 corpses of... I think his name was Jack Flowers and some other guy, Baldy.
Couple of
knights and a couple of rangers who were with Benjen, and obviously Benjen's not found.
Nope.
And so,
they found their bodies. So remember, Ghost found a hand at the end of the last episode. And so then they find the guy. One of them was missing a hand.
Exactly, and that was Jafer Flowers. Yeah, I remember this stuff. Anyways,
look at you.
What happens? Commander Mormont, they were talking about Burnham. The Wildling way, and he's like, "No, let Maester Aemon look at him."
Yeah, first.
So he brings him up. He brings Jon up to his room, and he reads a letter to him about how his dad is captured and his and the king is dead. Traitor also. Yeah. Because
they're gonna spin it that Ned was trying to steal.
Yeah, because it's
throne.
Because it's Cersei's words against everyone else's.
So
at this point. So we head back to King's Landing, where Sansa is being coerced, sort of, into writing a letter to her family from not only Cersei, the Grand Maester Pycelle, and all them. They're playing like a good cop, bad cop kind of thing.
A little bit, yeah.
And they kind of convinced her to write a letter to her family saying that, Ned was, I don't know what Ned was doing.
He was trying to take the throne.
He was trying to take the throne, and don't come down here, please.
She's a bit dumb.
Yeah.
Sansa.
I mean, what can you do at this point? I mean, she's like, she doesn't know what to do. It's kind of her fault anyways. I mean, if she didn't tell Cersei, none of this would have happened. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So, we head to King's Landing where Robb, he reads the letter from Sansa because in the show, obviously not in the book, things happen like that because if they don't, it's TV. You have to wait 2 weeks for you have a finite amount of time
for a crow to fly.
Exactly. To be fair. So, where are we? Robb's pretty pissed. He's talking with Theon, and he's gonna summon the banners, which means he's gonna get his men together, whoever was sworn fealty to Ned Stark, and he's gonna march them down to King's Landing and try to get his dad back.
Yeah.
What is it good? Oh,
killing Lannisters.
Exactly.
They hope. That's what they're gonna plan is.
So then we jump to the Eyrie, where Caitlyn is trying to convince her sister,
and the creepiest child of all time,
one of the creepiest. Mommy, can I have some food? And he's trying to get in her dress. It's like, get out of here. It's just a creep.
I don't know you can be an 8-year-old creep. That kid's an 8-year-old creep.
He totally is.
Well done, little
creep. Time. So she's trying to convince her sister to help Ned. He's like, nah, I'm not going to. Yeah. And so that's it. And then she kind of leaves, and that's that. And so we had Tyrion and Bronn, who are walking through the Vale
because they got out of the Eyrie.
And they're walking through the Vale, and Tyrion's whistling, and Bronn is, he's like, you should probably be quiet. There's people around here, and he's like, no, I'm loving life right now. I got a song in my heart, and if I gotta die, that's what's gonna happen, So during the evening, they're ambushed by the Hill tribe, but Tyrion convinces them to help.
To escort
them to the Lannister camp.
Tyrion's camp, Tywin camp.
Yeah, to the Lannister camp.
Promising like a better
gold, good weapons, all kinds of stuff, and as you know,
implying he would help them take the Vale.
Because the Vale Knights shit on the tribesmen,
which you shouldn't do.
No, you shouldn't.
It's not nice.
You should probably try to be fair to everybody, even the crazy psychopaths that wear the weird armor and stuff. I mean, it's just
until they eat somebody, then by all means kill them all.
And once they start eating each other, that's when you kill them.
That's when shit goes bad.
That's the line you cross. You're like, did you eat someone?
It's like kids fucking the people eating. It's like you can do anything you want up until then. Then that thing will get weird.
Then that is it. Game over. You're dead. Now I gotta impress you. So then we go to the wall where Alistair Thorne, he's kind of picking on Jon. Jon's getting pissed off. He almost tries to kill him.
Yeah.
Mormont sees this and he tells him, you know what, Jon?
He essentially grounds him.
Yeah, he's like, I told you not to do shit. Go to your quarters.
He sent him to his room, basically.
And so in the night, Ghost is trying to get Jon up because, I don't know, Ghost is a wolf, a dire wolf, and he's having some sort of feeling in his old gut. So Jon gets out and he walks to Commander Mormont's room, followed by Ghost. Or Ghost brings him there. And what does Jon find? He finds
that fucking dead fucker.
Yeah, that bald guy that died. He came back to life.
Walking around.
Yeah, he came back to life, so Jon's trying to fight him
This show's got fake wolves and zombies?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, it does. It's amazing. And so he's fighting him off. He stabs him in the gut. He falls on the ground. Jon does. Jon stabs the zombie guy in the gut. And he thought he killed him, and Commander Mormont comes out and says, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he gets back up, the zombie guy, and then Jon grabs...
fucking zombie.
Jon grabs the fire, which is not...
It's like an oil lamp or something.
Yeah, it's not totally emphasized 100% in the show, but it kind of messes up his hand. He grabs the fire, and he throws it at the zombie guy, thus killing him.
Because zombies can't survive fire.
No, they can't.
At least these guys.
Yeah. So, after that whole ordeal, we head over to the place you probably can possibly imagine at this point, back at the Khalasar, as they are heading, I guess, west, towards the ocean, as they are raping and pillaging villages along the way.
They are raping and pillaging like mofos.
Oh, yeah, they're like Vikings that way.
Yeah.
And
what's her name does not care for that.
Yeah, Dany does not like it.
She's not a big fan of the rape.
She sees...
Who would have thought a 14-year-old would be a fan of rape?
Yeah,
Threw me for a loop.
I mean, who would thought a woman doesn't like rape? You know what I mean?
Shocking.
Shocking. Anyway, so she sees all these women being raped, and she tries to save them. All right, and it does take.
She pulls rank a little bit. She's like, "No, I'm a princess. You're not gonna
rape everybody here. Just some of them, not all of them. But I'm gonna try to save most of them."
Yeah.
So she has to go explain to Khal Drogo what was going on about that, because a couple of people
defend herself.
Yeah, because a couple of people were pretty ticked off about it, and he kind of like one of the guys who's fairly ticked off. His name is Mogo or Mago or something.
Mago.
Carl Mago, and he's pretty ticked off because he wants to stick his dick and stuff.
Oh yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So what ends up happening?
He also didn't like the fact that she was telling him what to do.
Yeah, she's like,
she's a foreigner. She's a woman. Fuck that.
Yeah. What the hell is your problem? So what ends up happening is Khal Drogo fights Mago, and he's just Khal Drogo's just talking shit the whole time, and then he just fucking
pretty hilarious.
He gets one little cutting on him, and then Khal Drogo just fucking rips his tongue out of his goddamn neck. It's fucking insane. It's fucking insane.
It's pretty great. He uses his own sword against him to slice his fucking throat open.
He's like, but you'll have to kill me first. He's like, no, you're already dead. Dead. Fucking dead.
Good kill.
Fucking good
fight. Good quick fight.
Yeah. So he gets a little cut on his breast, right? And
his male bosom.
Yeah, and Danny's like, oh, who's the healer? Could someone come help, please? And one of the ladies that she saved, Mirzama Dur. Anyway, she comes over and she's like, I was a healer. And she offers to help patch him up. So that's pretty nice of her, huh? Isn't that nice?
It sure is.
So then we go back to Winterfell, where Great John Umber is there. He's one of the Stark Bannermen, and he's
gonna be like one of the very few that gets like lines and stuff.
Yeah, because there's a ton of them.
There's a million dudes, and each dude has like 10,000 guys with him.
Oh yeah. It's a lot. So the nice thing about the show is they only focus on like one or two of them per season or something. Because if they focused on all of them, we'd be there forever.
6 months.
Yeah. So Great John, he's kind of arguing with Robb because he's like, I want to lead the Vanguard, and the Vanguard's basically the dudes.
The dude's in front.
Yeah, the dude's in front. And since Great John, he's like this huge man. He's huge burly dude. And he's like, I'm gonna fucking do this. This is me. And Robb's like, no, someone else is gonna do it. All right, I need you to do something else. And basically they have a little tussle. And Greywind, Robb's direwolf, rips off his fingers. Off Great John's fingers.
A couple of guys' fingers.
And that kind of shows that Robb is not fucking around here.
No.
And Great John, sort of gains some. I mean, he respects him totally after that because he was just talking about how Robb is fucking green and he's like your piss grass is like your piss is as green as the grass, so it's kind of good that Robb steps it up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When your magic wolf bites off a guy's hand,
that's
he tends to change his mind.
Yeah. I mean that would just make me more mad, but whatever.
I would have urinated over my pants.
I know, I would have. So would have I. So we go to Robb. He's talking with his brother Bran about how he's got to be in charge of Winterfell when he leaves.
Poor Bran. Everybody keeps leaving Bran.
I know, everyone. His mom,
his dad and his sisters took off, then his mom took off, now his brother's taking off.
Even Theon, I don't know how much he likes that.
He's stuck with a giant, a slave, a doctor, and a little kid.
And his little bro.
And he can't walk.
Which stinks. So
Bran should be as fucking pissy as Sansa is in real life.
Yeah, he should be, but he's actually like being like in the beginning.
He sort of keeps it together.
Yeah, in the beginning he was kind of like, I wish I was dead, but now he's like,
I would say he's adequately sad.
Yeah.
He's where you should be.
Yeah.
When you get tossed out a window.
Mm-hmm.
The other one just is stupid.
Yeah. So then we go to Rickon. We're still in the same scene.
Yeah.
Rickon's kind of sad. He's like, "You're never coming back." Why? Which you know what is understandable, as a child of 6 or however old he is. It's totally understandable. Both your parents are gone.
Let's face it. So far, nobody's come back.
No one has come
back. He's right so far.
Yeah. So we go to another scene where Bran is praying at the weir tree.
Yep.
And Osha comes in and she's kind of talking with them and how they should be marching north, not south.
Mm-hmm.
All this. And then you see Hodor's giant cock. And then,
well done, man.
And then that's it for that scene, really. And
that's a big dong.
Yeah, Osha and...
she even has a comment for the wiener.
Yeah,
it was a good scene.
Yeah, it was a good scene.
You're going to have a really giant naked guy. You better have a good line to come after it.
Yeah, you better. That's for sure. You see that, you got to be like, whoa. Yeah. So we head to the wall where Sam kind of talks about White Walkers and how, like, he kind of like foreshadowing what might happen. Like
he read up on it because
he read up on it.
He reads up on shit.
Yeah, and he's just talking about the only way to beat him is with fire. So that's pretty cool. So we head to the Stark camp, which has begun marching south near the neck, which is
kind of like the middle of the continent.
Yeah. It's like this thin piece of land that you kind of have to go through in order to get to
connects the north to southern regions.
Yeah. So he's talking there. They're talking strategy. And then Caitlin and Sir Roderick finally meet up with him, and they have like a little moment. He's like, "Oh, Rob, I love you, Mom, I love you, blah blah blah." And so
fair, it's his mom.
Yeah, of course. And she's like, "Maybe you should have someone else lead." And he's like, "No, I'm gonna."
He's like, "No, fuck that.
I'm gonna effing lead this damn thing."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then of course we have Tyrion with his group of fellows.
His mountain guys make their
they make their way to Lannister camp, which is pretty nice. And they talk war, and Tyrion was saying, as we meet a couple new characters who I'll talk about at the end. But Tyrion meets some his bro, his dad, his uncle, and
he kind of gets caught up on what's happening.
Yeah, and basically they're gonna lead. Tyrion is gonna have to lead because Tywin's like, oh, the mountain people, you guys are good warriors. If you fight for me, I'll give you everything that Tyrion is going to give you and more.
Tywin is a shrewd fellow.
Yeah, so he's like, so then they're like, only if the little man comes with us. And Tyrion's like, oh god, no. And
so Tyrion fight.
Yeah,
should be hilarious.
Yeah. So then we head back to Rob. He's talking strategy about who do they fight first, because Jaime is taking over one section of the Riverlands and Tywin's taking
war on the other side.
Yeah, so they're wondering which way to go, and they find a spy, right? And so the spy kind of is like, Rob's like, how many guys did you count? He's like, oh, 20,000. He's like, okay, tell Tywin we have 20,000. We're gonna march down there and see if he really shits gold.
Which is a nice line.
Yeah, but
it's also a ploy.
Yeah, it is also a ploy.
Because they only have like 18,000 Rob says at one point.
Yeah, and so
he's letting him think his numbers are inflated. Maybe he's trying to scare him off. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so Rob kind of shows his tactical shrewdness in that essence, like that he's like...
Or it might backfire.
Yeah, it could.
It could backfire. Because if he says, well, fuck it, if Tywin says, well, fuck it, we're going to get 50,000.
Yeah.
Well, then you're fucked no matter what.
Yeah, so Rob kind of has like another little like scuffle with Great John. He's like, call me boy again, do it. And then
he's got to keep showing he's got the balls.
Yeah, because he's green, like they said. I mean,
he's a young dude, but he's a Stark.
This was his first war. Up. And so we head to the final scene of the episode, which is at King's Landing at the Iron Throne. And what ends up happening first is Brannis, how do I say it again?
First, they give a lordship to that jerk who was the leader of the Gold Cloaks.
They
do that first,
and then
setting him up for a larger role in
the next
more episodes.
Yeah, in the next season.
And then they take
Barristan Selmy. Barristan Selmy. They let him go, basically, to give him
He's the leader of the Kingsguard.
Yeah, and they basically let him go, and
they pretty much fire him for incompetency. They're saying.
Yeah.
He's too old and slow.
And he's like, you can't guard anyone, you can't protect anyone, and he gets pretty ticked off.
In their defense, I believe that was the third king that died under
Yeah.
I'll give him that one.
But he's lived a long life. I mean, he is 3 kings in however many years. That's not that bad, but still. Anyway, so they kind of fire him, and he gets pissed off. He walks away.
He bails.
And finally, we have Sansa, who talks with Joffrey and Cersei and the small council and everything, and just kind of pleads for Ned's life. And then Joffrey's like, you know what? If your dad swears fealty to me, I'll show him mercy. And that's kind of how it ends. And she's like, he will. And then through the Iron Throne, you kind of see her through like the spikes on the top. It's pretty neat. So yeah, that's the end of that episode. It was a good episode. What I liked or disliked? I didn't dislike anything. Again, I like how it's kind of very paced very well, and they're not spending too much time on one section, which is good. And that's really it. What about you, Rob?
No major dislike to this episode. No, I don't think so.
So let's go with some new characters. Let's talk about them. Shagga, son of Dolph. He's one of the hill tribe.
Lead mountain person we see.
Yeah, he's one of the hill tribes.
Like they do with Rob's army guys. If there's going to be a bunch of different people, they'll focus on one. Like you'll get some names thrown at you, but really he's only one who's going to get lines.
Yeah. And he's played by Mark Lewis Jones.
Yeah.
Thank you for having such a nice,
fairly easy name.
And then we have Great John Umber, as we talked about from before.
From the north.
He's played by Clyde Mantle. I like him because he reminds me of someone who should be Monty Python, and he's just a large.
He looks a little bit like if John Cleese and Richard Mole had a baby.
Yeah, I can see
Richard
that.
Mole played Bull on Night Court.
Yeah, I can totally see
John
that.
Cleese was in Monty Python.
Yeah, and
I can see them making a baby look like him.
And I think he does a pretty good job as Great John. I mean, he's supposed to be big, brash kind of guy, big, powerful warrior.
Loud.
I totally see that. And then we have Mermaz Dur.
Yeah.
And she's played by Mia Sotiru. Sorry if I say that wrong. But, she's kind of a slave, sort of. She was a healer, and she's a slave. And we'll see more of her later.
Yeah.
And then finally, Kevin Lannister, who is Tywin's bro, and younger bro, I believe.
He's kind of his right-hand man in the battle.
He's like the guy, when Tywin needs to talk to someone, that's who he talks to. And he's played by Ian Gelder. Yeah. And I think he's doing a good job as well.
Yeah, he hasn't had much yet.
No, but he will.
Lines, but
he will. He'll be more important later.
He's a solid, maybe third-level character.
But eventually he elevates, I think. Anyways,
a little bit.
Let's go to differences between the book and the show. I'm trying to think of anything off the top of my head. Not much that I can think of. I know next episode there'll be a couple big differences that we'll be talking about. But
in the books, when Ned plans to bring the girls back to the north, Sansa ends up going and telling Cersei.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens in the.
No, I don't think they do.
It's kind of replaced by the way Ned gives her the option to bail.
Yeah.
So that would be a difference to me.
Okay. Yeah, but nothing.
Obviously, but it's not a bad difference.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that there was any major differences that I can think of off the top of my head. I should have wrote them down, but I couldn't think of anything. But I don't know. Again, you just have to. They're trying, obviously, point of view characters. It takes a while for, obviously, you don't go right to Jon once he found out that, Ned was captured and was a traitor or whatever. Obviously, that doesn't happen right away. But, so, I don't know. I think they did a very good job of staying true to the book for this episode.
They did a pretty hard fucking book to make it to a show.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on, and they got to pick all the important things and some some stuff that builds people's characters and this, that, and the other.
Yeah. And if you're a reasonable person, you'll accept that. And if you're not, you're a fucking loser. So who cares?
Oh, one thing. Now that I think about it, one thing that they had on the book that wasn't in the the show. Obviously, another thing. Ned, I believe, while he's in jail, he has a couple dreams of his sister and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And obviously they don't show that. They were planning on doing some flashback stuff. I did see some pictures of characters that never showed up in the first season, like King Ares. They were going to do some flashback episodes or flashback scenes with him, but they never ended up doing it. Which the guy that they got was pretty cool, but what are you gonna do? So let's continue. Best line, best kill. Rob, I've got a couple here. I don't know if you thought of one.
I would say my favorite kill would be something that might not even be a kill, but just Florio fighting off those.
Yeah, that was great.
I think one probably ends up being killed at least.
I hope so.
So I'm gonna pick that. That was my favorite little fight.
I think mine's gonna be Carl Mago.
Yeah,
because he gets his tongue ripped out, and Khal Drogo just talking shit as he's like blah blah blah, and he's like, "Come on," and then rips his tongue out right out of his neck. I think that was great. People that we don't know died, like Syrio. I mean, he's more than likely dead.
Yeah.
Another kid died, Stable Boy, a ton of all the Stark men, Septimore Dane.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There was not a face, nameless death.
Yeah, you didn't know Septimore Dane was going to die, but she was totally going to die. Yeah. And the same thing with Syrio, which was kind of good that they didn't show him die, because then that'd be, more painful at least. So, I've got 3 lines. I don't know if any of these lines are yours, but I got a couple of good ones.
Give it to it.
My favorite line, or one of my favorite lines, is at the end of the show. All right, when Selmy kind of gets he kind of gets like thrown, you know, you got to quit now. I'm giving you severance package. You know, he's gets pissed off and he takes out his sword and he's like, I could slice you all out like cake or whatever. And then he just gets so mad and he just throws the sword over towards the Iron Throne. He's like, here, melt it down and add it to the others. That's one of my favorite lines of the episode.
That's good.
Because it's like he's so pissed. He's like, because the King's Guard is supposed to be a thing for life, but you know they're just throwing them away like trash. What about you?
Mine would have to be when they're approached by the Hill people, Bronn and Tyrion. Tyrion's trying to win them over, and Shaga asks him how he wants to die, and Tyrion replies, "In my own bed, at the age of 80, with a belly full of wine, and a woman's mouth wrapped around my cock."
Yeah, that's a good line too.
And that's how I want to go, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? That's how every dude would like to go.
Like that should be like a sampler, and everybody's
yeah. That is
good. Put that shit in a throw pillow. I'll put it on my couch. Like that's quality.
And I've got a couple other good lines from here where Varys is talking with Ned in the cell. He's like, "It was your mercy that killed the king," because he's like, why? He was just talking about like
how he didn't pretty much out Cersei right away with Jaime and everything.
Yeah. And then finally Tywin, when he meets Tyrion for the first time, well, at least in the show,
when he meets up in the first time.
Yeah. He's like, rumors of your demise are unfounded. Like he's surprised he's
alive,
still here. Oh, great. Because obviously
he's surprised and maybe a tad disappointed.
Yeah, because those two don't really. Tyrion,
they do not get along.
No, they don't.
No.
So that is about it for this episode. Do you have anything you want to add before we finish?
7 + 9 is 16.
Nice. So
that was me adding.
Nice job. You know what? You went literal. I like it. So this has been Pete or Kenshin1913.
And Rob or Brandon.
And this has been another Game of Thrones review. Bye-bye.